From chilling in the city to friendlier interactions and calculated as fuck. Hello, Magi here, and welcome back to another episode of Interesting Touhou Facts, the series where I talk about facts from Touhou that I find either fun, unusual, or simply interesting. So, without further ado, let's begin the Interesting Touhou Facts number 76. Number 5. If you've been reading the manga works for Touhou, then you have an idea of what the relationship is like between the yokais and humans. Humans are batshit scared of yokais, and yokais keep this act up so they can maintain living. This doesn't apply to everyone though. With characters like Reimu, Marissa, Sane, and Sakya, you would think humans are the dominant species instead of the other way around. But like mentioned, not everyone is the same. We'll be looking at Akyu. This might sound out of nowhere, but once I explain it, you'll understand why. Akyu and Yukari first met in memorizable Gensokyo, though their mannerism implied that they've known each other in Akyu's previous lives, possibly as early as Hideya no Aichi 1200 years ago. Damn, that's a long ass time. Akyu looks up to Yukari, referring to her as the sage of the yokai, with solemn awe and respect, and she readily allows Yukari to proofread and edit the latest editions of the Gensokyo Chronicle. However, Akyu's written article on Yukari in Perfect Memento shows she's aware one can't always trust Yukari's word, and that Yukari's logic isn't the same as a human's. Very smart, Akyu. Yukari's not the person to put 100% trust on. So how does this section correlate to my opening statement? Well, like you heard, Akyu looks up to Yukari and respects her as the sage of the yokai. But just because she's cool with Yukari doesn't mean it extends to the rest. In Forbidden Squirrelry chapter 47, Mamizou comes over to Akyu's place and recommends some tanuki stories to Akyu. Mamizou is hoping these stories will put the tanuki in a good light to the humans. The thing is, Akyu isn't a Chiruno and saw right through her ploy. She even knew it was Mamizou herself, as the tanuki was being careless with her tail. At the end of Mamizou's visit, Akyu states while she does this often for work, being alone with a yokai is always nerve-wracking for her. Main point is that Akyu is in the middle in terms of how she deals with yokai. Reimu and Marissa don't give a fuck and have no problem blasting them all away. The human villagers, on the other hand, are terrified shitless, which is understandable given the situation they've always been told of. Akyu, while she's afraid, is capable of standing her own ground in a sense. Huh. Rather lengthy for the first bloody fact. Let's see if this lasts. Number 4. So Sumireko, while being a resident of the outside world, really digs Gensokyo. And to be fair, it does have its moments. If, can't forget the fact that the yokais really want to eat ya. But again, to each their own. You think with the girl being from the outside world, you wouldn't get anything interesting happening out there, but you'd be surprised. So back in Alternative Facts, while being interviewed by Aya, one of the many things she notes after Keize and Rinosuke is that she hangs out with Mamizou in her city on the end. At that point, you may be saying, what the fuck? And you know what? I don't blame you one bit. But remember, Mamizou was originally from Sato and only came to Gensokyo because Nue called for her during 10 Desires. It's never stated how Mamizou's been able to do it, no simple explanation like Yukari's gap. Still, if Mamizou was able to enter Gensokyo the first time by herself, then it wouldn't be entirely strange for her to do so again. Plus, she can transform into a human as shown quite often in Forbidden Squirrelry, so walking among humans would be easy for Mamizou. Looks like Sumireko and Mamizou has the best of both worlds by being able to go to other realms, which can be pretty cool, no lies there. Number 3. Do you guys remember long ago when I talked about Reimu and how she was neutral to practically everyone? And the only two people who were the exception was Rinosuke and Meira, both people she referred to with San. Meira is a little different as Reimu initially thought Meira was a dude. Well, it looks as if there's one more person to add to this list, Kosuzu. Kosuzu seems to know and respect Reimu very well, speaking to her in a friendly and polite manner. However, she has heard the rumors of the Hakari Shrine being infested by yokai, and it sometimes colors how she interprets Reimu's actions. That's an understatement. Anyway, Reimu addresses Kosuzu as Kosuzu-chan. Aside from being the first person to be referred to as Chan, she's also the first female to be regarded differently in the Windows canon by Reimu. It is cool to know that there are still a few people Reimu will address a little differently. Kosuzu-chan flows much easier than little Kosuzu, as you might have noticed in the last chapter. I'm not going to give too much flack to the translator as I do appreciate having the chapter translated, but still, little Kosuzu for the entire chapter? That threw me the fuck off. Number 2. So back in episode 68, I talked about a creature that could create sake from water. For you alcoholics, that's some pretty dope shit right there. Could save you a shit ton of money, that's for sure. Anyway, in Strange Chapter 17, Reimu attained a vase from Suika containing water and the sake bug. The 3 fairies of light, thinking that the vase contained sake, stole it and drank from it, but they were disappointed that there was no sake in it. Shortly after, they met Aaron. Aaron fooled the fairies into believing they ingested the sake bug and that it caused them to be unable to taste sake. To pay for a treatment at Aente, the fairies gave the vase to Aaron. I mean, that's one way to scam a thief, not that I would try it anyway. Too much work. The next day, Aaron, with the help of Raisin, broke the vase and released the sake bug into another container. The sake bug spewed sake, which was drank by Aaron, Raisin, Kaguya, and Tae. Free sake for the aliens, plus rabbits. There's no proof that Suika manages to get this specific sake bug back. It is most likely still owned by Aaron at Aente. However, her own gourd still houses a very high class sake bug. At least Suika still has the main prize. In chapter 16 of Wild, Kazin brings the same sake to the annual flower viewing ceremony thanks to Yugi's help. Reimu seems to recall it but forgotten about it. A nice little reference if you were able to catch it, but yeah, this sake is so lit even the aliens want a piece of that shit. And to be honest, you can't blame them. It's not every day you come across a bug that can create you free sake. Unless you did find one, then congrats, you jackass. Number 1. Speaking of Aaron, we've known that she's one smart cookie. Being the sage of the moon and curing death does make one look intelligent. And on the other hand, we also have Yukari, and when it comes to smarts, she's no slouch either. I mean, she can make Aaron be scared, and that's saying a lot when Aaron is bloody immortal. Although those two are great geniuses, they're not the only schemers of Gensokyo, that's for sure. So in the last episode, I mentioned that the Prism River Sisters band had broken up and had reformed 3 days later with the addition of Raiko. So Raiko is being interviewed by Aya, and when Aya is asking questions, the Tengu notices the timing of the breakup, the meeting of the 4, their trial practice, and their reformation performance seemed out of place and rather quick after just 3 days. It was explained by Raiko that she had her eyes on the sisters for some time, and after some discussions, they would be a band of 4. But instead of just announcing the addition of a new member, Raiko decided that the sisters should hold an apology press conference. The main goal of this was so they could be in the news twice, one for the breakup and the reformation. So all in all, Raiko was using Aya's paper to bring some attention to the band. I gotta say, that's some sneaky shit right there. I'd say almost at the level of Aaron and Yukari for the cleverness and deception. Raiko's one serious, calculated motherfucker. That's for damn sure. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Which facts were your favorite? Are you curious as to how Mamizou and Sumireko hangs out in the outside world? Would you be down to have that sake bug? Or do you think Raiko is one bloody smart cookie? If you guys enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and subscribe, or else I might be manipulated by Raiko to promote her band. And the way it's turning out, this entire video might as well be a promotional video for them. Not for sure if I just got played or not. Either way, this is Magi, and thanks again for watching.